Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Off the Cuff. Today we're doing Dante's Peak. So let's get into that. We're going to obviously do the critic reviews and then the audience reviews on that. As you can probably tell from my shirt, if you saw my TikTok talking about my baseball team randomly, I was feeling a little wistful. So I just wanted to share some thoughts about that then. I just got back from Ubering, all that fun stuff. So I wanted to get this out real quick and hopefully have it uploaded for you guys by Monday. So we'll see what happens. Um, so we're doing Dante's Peak today. And as always, we are going to start with the critic reviews. And just so you know, the reviews for this one are 30% for the critics and 39% for the audience. See, of course, it's really funny. There's a couple of positive ones right off the bat, and then there's just a slew of negative ones. So, just a quick positive one from Don Shanahan from Cinephile Hissy Fit podcast. It's refreshing to see Pierce Brosnan out of the tuxedo and spy universe and still carry a blockbuster. Yeah, that's a fun. I mean, it's a fun thing to see. You're so used to seeing him in James Bond and all that fun stuff. This one from Daniel Solzman from Solzy at the Movie. Solzy at the Movies. Dante's Peak might take some liberties with the science, but the film remains an edge of your seat thriller 25 years after its release. Yeah, it's a movie. I don't necessarily expect them all to be scientifically accurate, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it's a really great movie. From Barbara Shellgasser from Common Sense Media. Volcano erupts violently and destroys town. Intense peril. I don't. That sounds more like a parental guidance thing than anything else, but gave it a 2 out of 5. Let's see, from Matt Crenson from the Associated Press. The movie Dante's Peak displays all the elements of the classic Hollywood disaster flick circa 1975 Irwin Allen with stomach turning dialogue to match. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if this movie was destined to. You can tell when some movies are trying to go for Oscars and awards and stuff like that, and I'm not really sure if you get that with this. My cat trying to make a grand appearance here. He still will, though, of course. Yeah, I don't think this movie was necessarily shooting for like an Oscar or anything like that, but it's still really well done. Um, from Gene Siskel from the Chicago Tribune, can I recommend half of a movie? And my guess is the half of like them trying to escape. I don't know. Wish they were more specific. Oh, this from David Anson from Newsweek. Leslie Bohm's script is almost self parody, but director Roger Donaldson keeps a straight face throughout. A rotten review. That's fair. I think in that case, though, it does a really good job. I guess a lot of people don't like the dialogue, which I didn't think was that bad. There's weirdly a lot of like no review. Like there's just the score of like 2.5 out of 5, score of a C, 3 out of 10, 0 out of 4, but like nothing written to react to. Okay, let's see. This one from Roger Ebert from the Chicago Sun-Times. Dante's Peak is constructed about as skillfully as a disaster movie can be, and there were times when I found it working for me, sort of. But hasn't this genre pretty much been played out to the point of exhaustion? 2.5 out of 4 is a rotten score. It's an interesting take. I'm trying to think of if it was 1997. I'm not sure how many disaster flicks he would be referring to. Because, I mean, they go back a long ways, right? Disaster movies have been big since, like, the 60s. But I'm not sure if it's something like a same stuff, different disaster, if that's kind of what we're going for. I don't know. This from Steve Rhodes from the Internet Reviews. Why are disaster movies so frequently disasters? Probably because they are disasters first and movies second. 1.5 out of 4. It's a very cleverly written review, but I don't necessarily agree with that little blurb. You need a lot of buy-in to disaster movies. In this case, though, for Dante's Peak, less so than something like Volcano, you don't need as much buy-in because it takes the progression of a volcanic eruption. You have the main eruption, and then you have your classic like lava floods, and then near the end you get the big eruption with the pyroclastic cloud, and then they set up some of the other stuff like the acid lake. They set up ahead of time, so I don't know. I don't see this one as a disaster, to be perfectly honest. From Rob Gonzalez from Rob's Movie Vault. I can't recommend it, but it has my undying affection. And I don't know why you can't recommend it unless you're trying to like toe the line between how you personally feel and the movie itself. But if it has your undying love, I don't understand why you wouldn't recommend it. Maybe recommend it with an asterisk, like, hey, I recognize there's a lot of kind of dumb qualities with this movie in whatever capacity, and then still say you recommend it, but with that caveat, right? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting review. And that's it. Good gosh. None of the critics really wrote anything. All right, let's do audience. Again, I don't look at these ahead of time for the most part. Today I didn't. I literally just turned on the camera and let it rip. So I'm kind of confused why there's like no reviews on the critic side. There's just a score. It's very interesting. Let's see, this one from Bernard, 4 star, old school disaster movie. Sure, the plot is a bit predictable, but what disaster isn't? Solid cast. Great rainy afternoon movie. Yeah, again, it's a good movie to get your popcorn calories and your butter calories in. A lot of positive reviews here too. From Jake S, 4 star, one of my all-time favorites. Not the best earthquake movie, but it's in my top five for sure. Well, it's a volcano movie, but that's beside the point, I guess. They're shaking, so I suppose. Okay, here's a 1 star from Mark G. When an action film becomes tedious as hell, you know you have a problem. I mean, this film is boring from an action point of view and plain awful from a dialogue and character point of view. Just a lazy cliche of previous action films, and the ending with a 20-minute standing ovation that Brosnan's character gets from the extras hilarious. Yeah, the ending might be a little bit interesting. But I mean, I think the action is still more than serviceable. I think it does a good job. Maybe the dialogue isn't perfect, but it's not like, I don't know. Do you want them? Do you want them out there talking Shakespeare? The "Does mother know you weareth her drapes?" Like I don't. It's a small town that is sitting at the base of a volcano. Like, I don't know how you want them to talk. Um, yeah, I don't know. This one from Brad S.R., 3 star. A few better writing choices could have turned this into a great disaster film as it stands, but as it stands, it's at least the best volcano film we yet have. Okay, well, at least he doesn't see Volcano as like the best volcano film. That would be a little rough here. Here's a 5 star from Thanet. The script is realistic and natural, like normal people talking and communicating with each other. The movie is fun and exciting. The events progress, and the scariness increases. Yeah, again, the dialogue, it might not seem quote unquote natural for some people, but I think I think it all works just fine. Again, this movie has a ton of positive reviews. It's got 5 star, 4 star, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, 3 star. This one from Seth, 3 star. I love a bad movie. Thankfully, this one isn't terrible and is a great Sunday afternoon watch. Again, it's a good weekend afternoon popcorn movie. Like, it's fun. It's got some thrills. I'm really surprised considering this has a 39. I like make sure I'm looking at the right score, right? Like, it's got a 39 on Rotten Tomatoes, but here it is with so many positive reviews. This might be kind of a boring off the cuff, guys. I apologize. Okay, here we go. Mark H gave it half a star. This film is risible, awful plot, dreadful dialogue, dreadful acting, drama ladled upon drama. Credibility score 0. I don't know what the awful plot is. I mean, you can say that maybe some of it is these characters are very archetyped. Um, Brosnan, having gone through his experience at the beginning of the movie, is starting to basically see eruptions everywhere when they don't actually happen. And then all this, it's almost Boy Who Cries Wolf, but in a positive way. Like, it's understandable because he's had this experience and lost his wife at the beginning of the movie, that he would have this problem. But I don't see the again, awful plot, awful awful plot and dreadful dialogue and dreadful acting. Like, I just don't see it. It might be derivative and it might be predictable, but it's not bad. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's that bad. Here's one from Steve D. 1 star. Volcano's terrible and boring little brother. Volcano Volcano is good too in its own way, but again, with that movie, you suspend your disbelief a little bit more because it's a volcano that just pops up in the middle of Los Angeles. So it might not be as exciting in that regard because you don't have your iconic buildings and neighborhoods and stuff being destroyed. But that being said, Dante's Peak is that more realistic approach to a volcanic eruption, so it makes more sense with the stuff that you see, the action scenes you see, like the scene where Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton go into the lake because their truck has the exhaust that will keep the engine breathing, basically. And the other cars see them go in, so they try and follow suit because they're like, oh, well, his car can make it. Clearly, mine can make it too. And obviously, they can't. They get flooded. Um, so it's a little bit more realistic action compared to Volcano. I don't know. It's not, again, Volcano is not necessarily a bad movie either. You just have to like suspend your disbelief a little more for that one. 2 star from Anonymous. I get it. Competition from successful Twister. Unfortunately, this film delayed what its intentions was supposed to be, a disaster film. Too much middle-aged drama, and when we get to the disaster portion, there was hardly any lava scenes, which is what I was hoping for. Again, lava is only part of the fun. That was the thing with Volcano, is all of the scenes, all the major action scenes had to do with the lava, whereas this one, it shows the progression where it's the actual eruption with the ash cloud, then you have your river of lava scene, and then you have your acidic lake, and then you have your pyroclastic cloud. Can you tell I like volcanoes growing up too? I didn't want to bring that up, and I'm almost like memeing myself at this point with all this stuff with that. When I was a kid, I really liked this. I'm trying really hard not to do that, but when I was a kid, I did enjoy, adjacent to weather movies and watching the Weather Channel, eating sticks of butter. Adjacent to that, I did enjoy like volcano stuff, like when Nat Geographic came out with their volcano series and stuff like that. Like that, I was all over that. All right, let's do a couple more here because this is unfortunately not. Well, not unfortunately, but I'm just surprised how many not bad reviews there are. And another Anonymous. A dumb waste of time that has bad acting and makes no sense. I feel like this movie is not that hard to follow. I don't, I don't want to be mean, but I don't understand what is so difficult to follow with this movie. It's very predictable in that regard. So I don't know why it doesn't make sense to people. I don't get it. Don't get it. Uh, I think we might have hit rock bottom here, guys. It's not loading. All right, we'll finish with one more. We'll finish with one more positive one that decided to load here. 4.5 star. Infinitely more harrowing, intense, and visually arresting than Volcano, Dante's Peak is amazingly realistic, well written, and fantastically paced. proving to be one of the most gripping and enthralling disaster films I've seen in a long time. That's a great review right there. And I'm not just saying because it's saying nice things about the movie. It's a very well written review, and I agree with a lot of it. Oh, actually, okay, we'll finish on a bad note for the one above it because that one also is a little bit more well written. Um, Another disastrous disaster movie. Lousy chemistry between the leads, a sleepwalking romance, preposterous narrow escapes, and cheesy morals lesson. Young couple dies because they went into the hot springs naked. Harry drives his truck through molten lava, and the tires, though aflame, miraculously hold air and killing off Granny. That's the last straw. I feel like this is just like a random outrage post because clearly if the couple in the hot springs had been wearing swimsuits they totally would have been fine, right? Like it would have been a-okay, whatever. Again, it's a movie, so not doing like 100% realism, but it's it, it's still pretty realistic, to be perfectly honest. All right, so I think that's all we're doing today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. As always, if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe, hit the like button, and if you have ideas for other movies, leave them in the comments below. I hope you have a great day, and take care. Hope I see you in the next one. Bye.